Right, man. On the nice day, you get bitched at in public, man. In a different language too. Through. Yo, through, man. But that's what happens when you gave liberty, you gave it a liberty to do something. Right? You gave it that liberty to get abroad to have all this, mantra about machismo. Like why the hell is a woman able to do that, man? That's a shame unto her, but then it's a double shame unto him. Because like, yeah, why is your mouth moving? But then why you just let her do that? We're going back to the scripture on that again.
Yeah, Isaiah chapter 19, verse 11. Surely the prince of the counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh is become brutish.
Yep, become brutish, man. And like I said, when you go into what's happening, with this whole war, right? You're seeing this actually play out. This is manifesting in real time. Because they'll start the war, then they'll stop. Then they'll try to, have some peace deal, but then they don't do it, right? You just had, I think it was Dan Cain. He basically said, "Hey, we got to stop because we don't have enough ammunition." And then you had Brad Cooper go to the 48ers and say, "Yo, we just got to bomb the hell out of them, bomb the infrastructure because we can't do nothing else." But then they're also being told, like, yo, if you bomb our shit, because Trump got the call from his Arab so-called allies and said, yo, don't do that. Don't bomb them, because if you bomb them, they gonna bomb us. And that's why he said, yeah, I got a call from the Saudis, and I got a call from Kuwait, and they told me, they asked me not to do it. But you're getting driven, you're forced into that, man. All that to be has of who? The small hats.
Good point.
Yep.
Then they also formed that triad between Pakistan, Turkey, and I think it was Saudi. Right. So what are they preparing for? Why now are they all of a sudden forming an alliance? I thought y'all was good with the U.S., but now you want to form Pakistan, Turkey, and Turkey is going to have smoke with Israel. So you see these lines being drawn, and people see the headline, but they don't see what's behind it and what it's going to lead to. That's going to lead to more conflict. And they're preparing for more conflict. That's another forever war. And the only one that's to end forever war is going to be Yahweh Shai.
It's a NATO style.
And you see how it's interesting, they formed that just a couple of weeks after Trump backed out on giving Turkey those F-35. Because of who? Because of the 48ers. And then you have the Saudis don't want to join the Abraham Accords because of the 48ers. So now and Turkey don't fuck with the 48ers either. So you can see how this is all being mapped out, how all this is being played out, man. Because the 48ers, because America, they're not going to, as they say, we're always going to be allied with them. We're going to follow them to the ends of the earth, and that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to lead y'all to y'all destruction.
That dude, you mentioned, Cain?
Yeah, Dan Cain.
That dude, that's also saying, he said that they need to what?
They had to stop bombing because they running out of munitions.
But that's the same guy that said we need to hurry up and produce more quicker. I think it was that guy.
Yeah.
Said we don't produce more weapons quicker, so there must be something to them being over, like exhausted as far as their military. Because remember, this is all stuff that takes money. This stuff needs to get built. It's not stuff that just came out of the thin air, man. This is stuff that's been made over time and it's just been depleted in months. Stuff that for years they've been building this thing. It's all been depleted in months. And Iran said they didn't start using their new shit yet. You talk about you running a weapon when you started the war. You think you're gonna get sympathy from the earth? That's why the Lord said I made Esau desolate and bare, man. Everything you're doing is gonna always hurt you at the end of the day, man.
Just how foolish they are, because America's supposed to have the highest budget of military defense budget. So, and remember, all that money is coming from the taxpayers. So, if you have all this money that you're getting from the taxpayers to going towards your military, you should have a plethora of missiles. You should have a plethora of THAAD, and attackers and all this shit. So what you been doing with this money?
Apparently, when they get it, you're right, they're fucking dumbass. But when they get it, they will spend all that money on like a high-tech, a single plane. And I'm like, yo, you could have made like freaking 200 missiles with that shit.
That's what LeBron does.
Yeah, exactly. So, and to find out that the newest shit that they got, it was the one that Iran shot down. So now they embarrassed as shit, trying to figure out what to do now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, 'cause that shit was like a couple $1 billion.
yeah. So I think even they should have learned from Cold War, because when Russia made a Tsar bomb, it was like the biggest nuclear bomb ever created. And how they countered that was not making a bigger bomb like that, but by making smaller nuclear bombs and showing them, look, man, you got one big one, but we got a whole army of this shit. So that's how the nuclear war became a stalemate. And they should have learned from that, but they're not doing that, right? They will send like a freaking 12 million, 16 million missile just to hit a missile that's like, it costs $1 million. You know, so yeah. Yeah.
Hey, and that once again, that doesn't show you just how foolish they are. Because now you're in a position where you're trying to make missiles in overdrive.
Yeah.
So what is that going to do to your actual economy? Because I believe that which war that was, where they basically had to change the whole entire economy into just building missiles, building weapons for the actual war. That's what they're going to do here. The 1.5 trillion. That's what they're going to do here. You ain't going to have regular jobs, man. Only jobs, a lot of the only jobs that's going to be available is to what? Is to build missiles, manufacture weapons. Yep. Because that's what these other nations been doing. That's why China got up so quick. Because a lot of their economy is to do what? Is to build their military. But America, being living deliciously, carelessly, thinking that we shall never see sorrow. What you got these people doing, man? Oh, I want to be a graphic designer. I want to be like, I want to be an influencer, content creator. I'm gonna sit down in my car and eat 50 fucking Taco Bell snack wraps and make money off it. I'm gonna sell feet pics. That's what you got people doing over here, man.
Mukbang.
What they call it? Max looking? Look Maxing. Getting money off of that shit, man. You got the streaming university. Just a bunch of dumb, simple niggas, but that's the product of Babylon.
Oh, I heard on the show Love Island, there was an episode where they went to Brazil, and they basically made a contest where they would throw cake at each other. And they said that they almost like basically did enough damage to semi-cripple Brazil's economy off of X, because they used so much X for that shit, and they just wasted it. They didn't even eat the cakes; they just did that shit, just throw cakes at each other. And I'm like, yo, like this shows you the mindset of people, because somebody thought that was a great idea. Why don't Brazilians themselves actually do some shit like that? Because common sense will tell them that no, we need the X to actually survive. These niggas are wasting it on throwing cake at each other.
Hey, if I may add, it said folly is set at great dignity. So the most wickedest, lowest, base type of shit is uplifted. And the the righteous works of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which the Lord's prophets doing, is looked at as the worst thing. So that's how you know this society is fit for destruction. And everybody's being prepared to, like you said, build bombs and missiles and AI data centers. That's it. If you can't fit into that schematic of what they have, you out of here. And that's why they're going to want people to get that thing up in you, that device, so that they can monitor you and see what you're doing. And that's why another thing with the streamer university is being that voyeurism, like people looking into your life, and you being used to like people normalizing somebody looking at every single thing you do 24/7. That shit ain't normal. That is not a normal way to live life, man. But they try to, oh no, that's a new thing. You got to get with it. Casanat, Speed. Who the fuck is this nigga Speed? He just popped up out of nowhere. Now he's at the World Cup. You know, he's another one of Esau's lapdogs, man.
I was gonna say, if I may, all in the meanwhile, all this is happening. You got Iran saying, there was an article that was like, yo, Iran is working on increasing their range of their missiles so it'll be able to hit the U.S. Now keep in mind, it's that they do or don't, right? The fact that they're saying that that's what they're another goal they're trying to achieve. You got Iran, and everybody knows that Iran and America at war. So if Iran's saying, yeah, we building something we could hit the U.S. mainland, that wasn't on no news. Nobody talked about that. And don't think that they can't eventually have that capability. That's the whole point. That's Iran, a country you presently at war with. Presently, in 2026, August. You presently at war with Iran. This whole shit going on straight away. You got Iran coming out saying, I think it was one of the, I forget the title yet, but he said basically, yeah, now the goal is to hit something, make something that can hit the U.S. Missiles that can hit the U.S. Like,
Yeah, I
come
read
on.
something about that. That either they had or they would be supplied either from China or Russia.
Yeah.
With missiles that can hit U.S. mainland.
Right, and that's after, and that article came out after Russia and China sent Iran a bunch of shit. So there goes the whole being a guard unto them. They actually sent Iran defense weapons, a defense system, actual defense. So this is what's going on in real time. And it's not something we fabricated. That's going out regular news.
Because it's all coming to full, it's all coming to the end, right? This is where this is all leading to, man.
Yep.
And this is why, hey, unless you have the understanding of Yahweh outside these scriptures, right? You're not gonna see it until you actually literally see the missile drop. That's when you're gonna realize. But it's gonna be too late at that point.
Going back to Isaiah chapter 19. Continuing with verse 11. It says here, how say he unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of the ancient king. Where are they? Where are my wise men? Let them tell me now. Let them know that the Lord Yahweh
Where are your wise men now? They should be telling you what's about to happen. But instead, and even coming out of America's own media press, they're saying that Trump's cabinet lied to them. They said that even with the whole shit with the quote-unquote assassination attempt that Iran was supposed to have, in Turkey. They said that was false intelligence. That Iran, that 48ers, fed him false intelligence so that he could get mad and want to do some shit. Think about that. Your right hand man lying to you. Like who you supposed to trust? But see, that's Esau, right? That's like the Joab lying to. Come on out.
Yeah.
But see what happened now? Joab at the end of it, you got. You can't have the people that's closest to you lying to you about war.
He lied to Abner.
Abner.
See David calling back.
Okay, yeah.
Still alive.
Yeah, still alive. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, because he had stabbed him up, right? Yeah. But that in itself, that's very dangerous. That's a very dangerous thing, man. But ultimately, it just made Trump look even more foolish. And how do you start making memes of him being truck? You gotta leave out of your plane in the catering truck, man. Taco truck. But this is what is happening. You're becoming, made there. You're becoming a laughing stock, a gazing stock amongst the nations. And it's, Salak, I got you. And it said that, let them tell you what the Lord has purposed against you. But they're not going to tell you, but hey, that's why the Lord got the prophecy. Because we're going to tell you. And what we're telling you is what's happening. And that's why ultimately they want to have to, try to get us off the enemy. But it's not them, it's the Lord. It's the Lord, because this is becoming, nobody's trusting your actual media anymore. Nobody goes to Fox News and this is what the truth is. CNN, they don't believe that. They're going to alternative media. And then, what happened?
Said the enchantment.
Oh yeah, the enchantment, yep. Stand 99 enchantments. That's why you still deceive them. That's the only thing they can do is just continue to go to these media press. Because what else you gonna do? Now they trying to go to Joe Rogan. They trying to set up other individuals that are social media influencers. But that's not working. Because everybody now has their, are narrowly looking. Now everybody looking at you like, yo, man, we don't believe that. So as things become more and more, chaotic, and as this war unfolds more and you start to see more and more calamities, you're not going to be able to hold onto the narrative any longer. You don't even have it now. They even like the whole thing you mentioned before about the ship and the Navy people being distressed and having mental breakdowns, saying they try to commit suicide. They try to come out and say, oh no, they're fine. Like, nah, there's text messages that they're over here complaining and say they don't got no fruit, they can't break fruit. They say by the time it gets there, it's spoiled. They got cereal but no milk. And that's actually what they said. They actually said that. I'm like, damn. And they've been over 251 days.
Longest in history.
And then Trump said they're not there long enough. I'm like, damn, you demon. Leaned into the camera and said it. Says they're not there long enough.
That's pride of culture. That's being proud of culture.
That's wicked, bro.
Well, that was wicked as hell. But hey, that's why you're going to see. Remember, those people are real like people. They got families that are here. So when they're looking at you say their president say that, remember he's the commander in chief. So when they're looking at their commander in chief say that about his army, they're like, oh nah, we're not fucking with that.
Actually, they showed you that with the when Iran was striking the U.S. bases, motherfuckers out here in the FIFA World Cup Finals enjoying himself, and they were like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on over here, yo? I'm over here getting bombed. He's over here enjoying himself at the FIFA World Cup." But yeah.
Well, it's kind of like remember the movie Horrible Bosses? Colin Farrell. Remember he was like, he talking. I think before his father died, he was talking to one of the niggas that was part of the scheme. He was like, yo. It's like a fucking ATM to me.
Yeah,
it's like fucking this, cause like that's how they feel about the U.S. military. It's just like just something they could use and utilize. They don't care about you. Remember, Trump said the last thing on my mind is this financial situation of Americans. We just can't let Iran have nuclear weapons. He said that before he went to China. The whole thing, I think, when China, when Putin, Trump, I think Trump went to China, and then Putin went to China afterward. He said that then when he was about to get on the thing. Like, yeah, I don't care about America's financial situation is the least bit, because that's when the gas was going crazy.
Verse 13, Isaiah 19 and 13. The princes of Zoan are become fools, the princes of North are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof.
Yep. So you had these Americans believing the hype, right? Iran can have nuclear weapons. But remember, they deceived them because what did Trump run on? I'm the president of peace. I'm the peacemaker. I want the Nobel Peace Prize. It was not I ended 8 wars. I ended this. I'm going to end all the wars, right? I'm going to end Russia and Ukraine in 24 hours. This war is only going to take 2 weeks. Remember, he's the same nigga that said when the CV happened, he was in presidency. He said, "What? It's going to be locked down for 2 weeks." The 2-week curve, right? But y'all kept falling for it. You had you Israelites. I ain't gonna forget. You Manassites. I will vote. I'm never gonna forget that shit, man. Had a little whole jingle. But now look at you. You got the ICE upgrading weapons. They got the shot gloves, man. Static shock your ass, man.
Shocker. Like Spider-Man the Shocker.
Yeah. Who was that? Was that Jamie Foxx? Was he the shocker?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But hey, that's what they got coming for you. That's where your tax dollars going to. They ain't gonna shoot you no more, they're gonna grab you.
Imagine that. I grab a nigga, he's just shaking.
Word.
Dying, bro.
Yeah, they got the gloves, yo. That's crazy. Because they've been getting a lot of pushback from shooting people. All right, they ain't gonna shoot you no more. They're gonna fry your ass with a touch.
It's probably like a versus a crew.
Yeah. But that could even kill somebody. Because like, imagine if you get shot, but then you fall, you hit your head.
Shot.
Heart attack.
Oh yeah, you have a heart attack?
Some of that juice in it.
Oh, word. You don't know what that shit gonna do. An mRNA, that shit might just go good. Reprogram your heart to stop.
Because people get saying that they get a version of trigger happy. Because them ICE agents, they're gonna feel like it's new technology, and the only effective way to use it is on somebody. So they looking for the slightest reason. I remember there was a video when they deployed the National Guard to DC, and you had the Jay going up in front of him talking about take the badge off, I bet I'll beat your ass and all that. They want you to come and do that shit this time while he got the gloves on. you know, and then he go with a firm grip, you know what I'm saying, on your ankles and your wrists and shit, you know, and then you see,
They gonna start foaming.
yeah, and that's the thing, like because when you look at what happened with like the whole George Floyd situation, when he got a grip on you and you just getting voltage of electricity through your body, in his mind, he's not feeling what you feel. So you might be saying, yo, like chill, but he's like, I'm not ready to chill yet, you know. And then before you know it, you could have a case where a dude just goes into some form of shock, and next thing you know, he's good.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Not enough yet.
One more verse. Isaiah 19 and 14, the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. And they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his running. And that's all because the Spirit of the Lord that has come back in. So you would think by following these leaders that they're going to lead you somewhere right. But your president is literally, the guy said on live television, he opened his mouth and said, Iran their technology is so archaic that we can't communicate with them. In fact, they sending little children with notes in their hands to come and bring messages back to us. And then 2 minutes later, Iran go post a tweet on X. So how are they doing that if their communications are so bad? But people sit there and actually believe this, you know, and that's part of the perverse spirit, because
And
now people don't
they,
have the
like-
common sense to believe the truth. They believe a lie that the prince or the god of this world has deceived them to believe. And that lie goes past just what's going on politically, but it goes into what they believe is right. Why the hell you got gender classes for those of us? But that's something that they say, oh, this is a necessary part of the curriculum, so now you got to go ahead and do it. And there was a video of this Jake teacher crying and shit over high school students who were about to graduate to go to college who couldn't read and write. And he's like, yo, he's like a basic 2 paragraphs, they couldn't do that. And they're about to go to college.
He said 2 sentences.
No, it was paragraphs. Yeah, 2 paragraphs. 2 sentences was great. Yeah, but yeah, that was one of those
But yeah, and that's a common thing now. See, that's what they wanted. They wanted to, like brothers always said, they give you smartphones to make you dumber. That's now a common thing. That's why people feel like they feel naked without having a phone. They feel like they're missing something. Or they're missing a part. They're missing knowledge. They're missing how to operate in society if they don't have their phone on. But as we say, hey, that time's gonna come where the lights are gonna go out, man. Where you ain't gonna have technology. And that's gonna be a trap. That's gonna be a snare to a lot of people. That's what the devil's gonna use as a means to get people to their knees, man. Oh yeah, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back. But you gotta now be integrated into the digital system. Oh yeah, I just need it back. Whatever we gotta do. And
Right now, I actually did a lesson about yesterday. Right now, in parts of the states, you got people with no power, no electricity. Even 2016, they were saying that the U.S. military, the U.S. government / military, the Pentagon, will how they're going to control and form the weather by 2025. So right now, the things that's going on around the world, I believe this morning I saw another one, I forget what country it was, but they got hit with a 7.7 magnitude earthquake. 7.7.
Colombia?
No, Colombia was 7.4. The one I saw today was another, they were country.
Indonesia,
7.7, yeah. And they said they're getting ready for tsunami warnings and all that. And I'm like, yo, this is happening too frequently. Of course, the Lord said in the last days, as far as the signs before he comes back, there's going to be earthquakes in diverse places. You have Colombia, you have Venezuela, you have the States, you have Japan, right? Now you have Indonesia. These are diverse places, all right? We've had the fires that's going on, right? We've had these crazy ass storms that's happening that's taking people's homes with them, right? So out there in Indiana, I know parts of Chicago as well, they've run out of gas, all right? There's no electricity. All right, and sister was saying that there's no electricity. They've been in the dark the whole time, and it's also raining. So you got, on top of that, you got the flooding that's happening. Okay? And the people at the mercy of their towns and their states. And guess what? These states ain't going to be helping you. They've designed everything. Shit, Trump, I believe, 2025, last year, he put on hold the civil rights department.
he put them niggas on. So if they violate your civil rights, we can't even go personal charges. Who we gonna go to? The department that's supposed to handle all that has been put on freeze. All right, and they do all these things. You look into Project Esther and all that. So that they literally like this concept. They just setting things up to bring people down to the knees to accept the new system. You got all these food recalls, right? It's like out of nowhere, all these recalls, and people are just sitting there like, oh my God, look. No, why do you think they're doing all that? They want to get rid of the regular food so they can replace it with all that stupid ass lab shit, man. That's why they're doing all that, man. Why you gonna recall beef? You recall eggs? You recall this? It's like who's investigating to see if these recalls are they even valid?
Hey, Tyson just they just shut down a bunch of food processing plants. I mean, Tyson is a major meat company. Like you said, he had 15,000 pounds of beef that was recalled. You have the whole shit with the lettuce, with the diarrhea. So they're doing all this, they got a publicly said, because they want to get people to accept what the lab goes through. Because when we went into the thing we did, a lot of the problems of what is happening in terms of moving forward is completely disorder. There's going to be a lot of food famines that is going to take place because of fertilizer, urea, ammonia. All these things, sulfuric acid, all these things are needed in order for farmers to grow food. Like how brothers always say, people in Babylon just think that food just spawns in the grocery store. There's a whole chain. The diesel from the trucks. The other says I would always go when the trucks stop. Or let's say they don't stop, but let's say it's less and it's more expensive. So now, not everybody has the money to import it, and then also because it's more expensive, and it's less, there's less amount, they're going to prioritize who gets what. You think Jake cities is going to get it? You think the inner cities where Jake is predominantly at is going to get it? No. And that's where you're going to get city against city.
There was a double-edged sword to that too, because before the war started, what also started with Trump got in office, all this ICE and all of the immigration shit, which also caused a lot of the farmers to lose their workers. So that's actually when the farmers started taking a hit. And then the war started as far as the process, the materials needed, like the fertilizer and all that. So it was like actually a double whammy. Because if the immigrants that were living on the farm, they left the farm. I think the people was in Arkansas, like a cow farm. They said they lost 70% of their employees from the ICE. Either they got deported or they stopped coming. And then the war started. So now the fertilizer, then all those issues started coming about. And that's going on for 2 years now. Or a year and some change.
Not to mention even during the CP, we had all those food processing plants that was on fire. Remember the chickens, the pork, right? The beef. Yo, those videos of all you see is just a whole bunch of Angus beef, a whole bunch of black cattle laid out. All right, just laid out. We asked the question, they said, oh, we had to call it because of the virus. Yeah. You know, they're burning, they were literally burning down the whole entire processing plant, bro. This was back in 2020, I remember that. It was when we were older. And listen to him, he goes, hey, they destroyed all the chicken, man. You know, Jake loves chicken. I was like, yeah, you know? So like the brother said, they destroyed the manpower, and then they destroyed the things that the man would need to actually produce the stuff that the industry was gonna need. You know, you got truckers, they had a trucker strike, they had the whole what's that thing that they had last year with the borders, they couldn't come up to an agreement. There was something longshore, something that was in there. Oh, yeah, they had the whole standoff. You know what I'm saying? The automation shit. Right. Exactly. The ports. That's what I was calling it. Ports. Right? So you have that also going on. So again, these are things that compounds. It doesn't just happen and it goes away. It compounds, it goes over time. Remember they had the Suez Canal thing? It got blocked up for like 7 days or some shit. Yeah. And they were like, yo, that's going to even cause problems in and of itself. So again, these are issues that's been going on, but they're massive, right? So people just don't pay attention to it. Like, it goes away, it never goes away. It adds on until the day where it all comes together because it's just supply chain. So everything is interconnected. So one place might get fucked up, it might alter things for the things around it might still work. But if this happens, like example, one thing affects the other, it affects the other, it affects the other. So if the truckers can't commit, you got no electricity, right? You got no gas, you got no fuel, you got all these things is going to be affected. It goes into medical, it goes into the food sector, it goes into just regular public infrastructure, man. Right? So a lot of things is going to be affected. All right? The things that even the police use, they're going to be affected by that. Telecommunications, all these things are going to be affected. Like Simone was saying, shortages of these minerals is going to affect everything. Your phones, your computers, right? The things that makes power come on. Okay? Remember, your life, everything that you see right now is very fragile. America is in its most fragile state it's ever been in. All right, the infrastructure is as weak as it is. Ain't nobody gonna be spending billions of dollars to be building up the infrastructure. $1.5 trillion is going to the military. It's not going into the infrastructure. And how did they get the 1.5 trillion? They had to cut off all your benefits that people will be using, man. So think about that. By the end of this year into next year, 2027, forget about it, man. People gonna be revoking their American citizenship.
Yeah, that's why they said with the whole Medicaid and Medicare.
Yep.
That they were, I think it was in California, they were taking away a bunch of it. In Minnesota, they were taking away a bunch of it. SNAP. So they're already rolling back a lot of things, a lot of so-called benefits that the people really pay for because it's on taxes. But where are they reallocating that to their own pockets, to the data centers, right? The government spending. But the government's supposed to be spending on the people or for the people. And what they're doing is the stuff that the people don't want. And that's a recipe for a disaster for a kingdom. Like we're literally seeing all of the recipes, the ingredients for a kingdom to fall happen right before our very eyes. In a way that they try, because we was talking about the eggs. You remember earlier this year, the egg prices was like crazy high. And then Trump said, oh yeah, I'm gonna lower the egg price. What the fuck you do to lower the egg prices? Ain't nobody think about that. Because I remember for like a couple of weeks, the egg price was high as hell. I'm like, damn, $12 for the pasteurized? You're looking at them fucking regular shits, the white ones like, I'm not,
Economic choice.
a couple weeks later, this shit's back down to like 7. I'm like, all right, fuck, whatever you do, I'm gonna take these eggs. But there's a consequence for that. There's something, whatever you did, that's gonna have a trickle effect. Yeah, there's nothing's free, man. Especially from this government. Yeah.
Got something to add? Precept? Revelation 6 and 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
That's what. That's basically hyperinflation. Okay. And that's what you're about to see happening. I mean, you already got inflation happening, but it's happening in a gradual way. But people are feeling it. But what happens when it becomes hyper? When it jumps from I forgot what it's at now, I think like that 3 point something. What happens when it goes to 6 point something, and then 12 point something? That's when you're going to start to see, because your wages are not increasing at that same level. Nobody gets majority of people don't get, a 4% raise yearly. They don't get a 4% raise yearly. So as inflation is rising, your wages are not increasing at the same level. So that means that you're becoming poorer. Systematically. But then when you now compound that with all of the resources that are not coming to America because of the war, now those resources are going to become more expensive. But your wages, they're not going to say, things are getting, they're not going to say that. Matter of fact, you got jobs cutting people. They're cutting costs. But we just don't have AI taking it. That's what they said. Same moment. You said what? Eventually, AI may end the world. But we're gonna put mad billions of dollars on this shit. But that goes to show you that he is the mind to destroy, man. He killed, the son of perdition.
Yeah, I was gonna add that what the elites are doing right now is a controlled demolition of the US government. Because basically there's no need for any more governments. It's just AI. AI is your God, AI is your government, AI is everything to you. So what is the need for a Congress? What is the need for a president? So that's why they're having them go out bad and go outside, because it's like, damn, well, shit. And when you look at it, it's like, damn, the way that it's playing out is so, it looks like it's purposefully stupid. Like the things that they do. So it's like, what they're doing is embarrassing and humiliating all of those officials, president, Congress, and everybody involved to say, well, maybe human rulership, this is not gonna work and we need an AI. We need a robot to tell us what to do, because clearly these motherfuckers can't get it right. But it's all done on purpose, because it's common sense shit. It's easy to solve these problems. Just stop bombing, you know, stop doing that shit. But no, they're gonna keep going. Again, now we're in the mire now. And what is the only thing that's holding them back from stopping? Oh, he's gonna get humiliated, his pride? That's a dumbass reason to crash your whole society out. But again, it's not an accident, it's on purpose, because they want this shit to crash. There's no more government, there's no more sovereignty. It's this system, it's this beast system being raised up.
And it's funny that you say that, because ultimately, all these so-called leaders that are compromised by the whole Epstein, guess what? You can do all these hopes that doesn't come out. You're still going to experience it anyway. So it's like, okay, I did all this in hopes that American people are not going to know that I can eat flesh. Because we see the pictures, we see the we know what y'all doing. All right, you know what y'all doing. Y'all got a human person and y'all wish that nigga, you know, he be caught up like a damn Thanksgiving turkey and shit. And they put him on the table and they be slicing him up and eating him up. They do shit like that. They have mad niggas lined up. They said Israelis they out in Colombia right now. Right after the earthquake, they over there. What are they looking for? Just like every single time there's some type of calamity like that. Look at Haiti. You always gonna find them talking about we about to deliver aid. We don't need your aid, man. All right. But that's what they do. They come in there to take advantage of the chaos that they caused. All right. It's always appropriate that they always gotta be there whenever everything goes south. They always gonna be there. All right. And what they do, like the brother was saying, it's all a deconstruction of the system that you have today.
Because from your house to the thing is an hour and 40 minutes, right?
It's a carefully designed thing. And they said they were going to do that by using the highest office of the land, which is the president. They've been said that. This is all part of bringing in the beast system. All right? Everything you see now has to happen this way for them to bring in the microchip. Point blank period. All right?
That's actually a good point, because now look at the U.S. government itself. Who's infiltrated their government is these small hats. They literally have taken control of the U.S. government. All of Larry Ellison's and what's the other motherfuckers you mentioned a little bit ago? Yeah, Sam Altman's and all them. They're all infiltrating the actual government to where that's why all these AI data centers are the main priority. Because that's what Esau wants to do. What Larry Ellison said is going to be the age of surveillance. So they're going to be watching everybody. They've infiltrated the whole thing. That's why they say, yo, this is the United States of Israel. I mean,
yeah, I said, well, New York got all these SWAT cameras, and there was a post that said that it's everywhere in New York besides like one little area where the J's are at.
that's it. Yo, come on,
It's
son.
like that across the country.
Yeah,
Wherever they at,
it's not there.
In LA, they doing it now too, where and they said that people be defacing them, pulling out the guns already. So then in the comments, everybody was saying, "Man, I hope you don't deface the one that's on such and such a dress. That'd be awful if you did that." And they just like, that's all the comments, because people don't want to deal with that shit. But it's all theater, you know. It's all theater of the absurd when you deal with Babylon the Great America, man. And that's why, what's his name, the Secretary of War, Pete Headsplit, got up there and they made him look like a damn fool. You know, embarrass him in front of everybody. And that's all, again, theater. Yeah, you're going to go up to Congress, they're going to embarrass you. They're all a part of it anyways, but we're going to use these guys to speak out and have you look like a fool and expose the fact that this was the highest level of a debacle that you could imagine. And just for them to continue on in the same path.
Still giving money.
Yep.
Matter of fact, the whole thing with the war with Iran itself, they said no matter if it's the Democrat or Republican in office, it's a bi-party war. So the small hats infiltrated both parties. It's the whole government, the whole Congress, whole Pentagon, all that shit is gonna. Yo, when that ways back, I forget what happened, but then Pete Hegseth went straight to Israel to talk to, and then when they get back, the war shit gets a little more crazy. Eventually, this is going to kick back up again, and more than likely in the next couple months.
Shit could be sooner than that.
Right, Lord willing.
You know?
I try to be nice.
Because things is moving quick. you know. And these devils, they're at a position to where they gotta move quick as well.
Right.
Because the more time they take, the more this truth is getting. And then remember, this is a problem for them. Yeah. That's why they got the little flunkies trying to come, you know, try to blitz the camps and all that. But that's only thing that's doing is furthering the solidifying this ministry, man. But you remember how the small hands, they sent out 100,000 Christians to the 48ers to basically murder them and send them back to America. What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna be out because this is where this word is going. This is a very big problem for them. That's why Netanyahu said that we're fighting 8 fronts. The information front. They trying to get, you know, they bought TikTok. They already own the Google and the YouTube, right? They said, oh, Elon's an ally. So they're about to take over the telecommunications as well. But when that happens, that's not going to be something that's going to be beneficial for you people, man. When the Lord takes the prophets off of the streets,
That's it.
that's it. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Job's done.
Because when you go into the scriptures, when the Lord had the prophets go out, they prophesied of the warning to Israel to repent before the destruction. Once the Lord had the, when you see the prophets, should I say, Israel get ransacked, or you had the Judea, they get carried off into Babylon. You didn't see Jeremiah out there, and why they get carried off. And thus saith the Lord, like, you must God. He said, and then everything that was prophesied came to pass, and the Lord made good on his word. He made good on the words. Like,
My fault, but that's why I think it was Zedekiah came to see him in jail. He had put him in prison for the word of the Lord to get advice on what to do. Like, where have you been this whole time? I've been telling you what to do. I've been preaching it. But then at the end, that's Amos 8 and 11. You know, they were seeking the word back then, but now it's going to be on an even higher level because for them to shut us down, because as long as the Lord allows us, we're going to keep uploading on the internet. As long as the Lord keeps the spirit. So what is it going to take for us to cease? That means they're going to have to shut this whole shit down, shut the internet down. Complete, basically, like, it could be an EMP, it could be a lot of different ways they go about it. Basically, it's going to be some drastic event that happens.
And it's interesting because the Lord communicates with the prophets, not via season. Like the Lord, he can communicate with the prophets in many ways. Most of the time, to the masses, through the prophets. So if the prophets are not here, you're cooked, you know. But exactly. But if the medium in which we use to communicate with you is not here, we're all right. Because the Lord can still tell us exactly what He needs us to do. So that's why it's so important, as we've been saying, for you to pay attention and get the word down, so that you can know the Lord, and peradventure you can pray to Him, and then He can you know, deliver you in that time. But if you don't know the Lord, and the teachers who will teach you who the Lord is not around, then you pretty much go.
Hosea chapter 12, verse 10. I have also spoken by the prophets, and have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. So that's how the Lord speaks, man. That's how the Lord always spoke. That's how He warned. But then when those that don't take heed to the warning, then you know the Lord by His judgment. That's the order of events. He speaks to you, and then He acts based off of what you, if you taken heed or if you didn't take heed. And based off of the succession of events, what we're seeing happening, because when you read what Yahweh said, wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, we're seeing that happening, right? The pestilence, the famine, right? But then the next thing He said, what? Then they're going to deliver you up to be some of you going to be afflicted. So the next thing that's going to happen, right, is going to be this truth, you know, being taken off the internet, or certain people. They may come up to certain camps. It may not be all one just big event happening at once. They may come to, you got this law in Texas, or you can't do this over here no more. But we're going to be able to see how this is, because we're able to follow the timeline, all right, of the scriptures through the Spirit. So we're able to see, you know, when Jacob's trouble started, right? When the wars, right, of Ezekiel 38, when that started. That's why when it started, we're telling you, okay, this is this. This is that.
I was going to say, it shows you, you know, in the book of Exodus, the last thing the Pharaoh ever said to Moses was, I don't want to see your face, and if I see you, I'll kill you. So he got sick of Moses prophesying to him, and the day he said that was the day the Lord smote the whole Egypt, the firstborns. And then he was like, that's it, that was, yeah. But yeah,
You don't want to see me either.
exactly.
So the Lord like, okay, well, you want to see me either.
The prophets being off the scene is the final straw. That's
The Lord is not going to give a lot of wiggle room for you to be relieved of the prophets not being on the scene. Because you're going to have people that's going to be happy about that. That time when you relieve that they're not on here, that's when the prophets will actually speak louder and louder. To the point where the lights go out, motherfucking, these devils come down with that great wrath.
Oh, it says you that in Ezekiel that they're going to seek, rumor upon rumor, that they're going to seek to the prophets. And that's when you're not going to, Proverbs. They're going to seek me, but they shall not find me. Yep.
But you know, if you take out the men of the Lord, the scripture says that nature fights on behalf of the righteous. So that's when you actually see nature prophesying to you. And then you didn't,
Also in Proverbs, where there's no vision, the people perish.
This is Ezekiel chapter 7 verse 25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and counsel from the ancients.
See? So you ain't gonna be able to go to your elders, right? Of your elders. Besides that, ain't gonna be able to tell you shit, man, about what's going on. You ain't gonna have your TD Jakes. They not gonna be able to tell you what's happening right now.
Frankie Bob.
You said who?
That's his name, Frankie.
Oh, Frank.
When you get tight, Frankie comes out.
That's what
Power Bob.
Who said that?
That's what I said.
Oh.
He's good now, Azar. Let me talk to Frankie, bitch.
But you know what? That's why in the beginning it says that when basically they're going to seek peace, right? In other words, they're going to be going everywhere looking for some semblance of something that will make sense and comforting to them. Right? And guess what? Everywhere you're going to go, they're going to be telling you the same thing. Nigga, I'm looking for the same shit you're looking for. Peace. You coming over here bringing problems to me. I'm in hell myself. You coming here looking for water, guess what? I ain't got much. Because remember, I was talking about my East Pops. He came up to visit, and I was talking to him 2 days ago. And I was telling him, I was like, yo, man, look, that we're entering into some very deadly times. You know, there's a difference. One thing about people in this world is they pretend to hear what you're saying because at that point it makes sense. But when all hell breaks loose where they're supposed to actually use the things that you've been telling them, they forget it. It just goes out the window somewhere. When we say we actually believe on the power of God and outside, we call upon the Lord for all things, we mean that. It's not a thing we just say on and off camera. We actually live like that. That's just how the life we live. So when we say these things, it's not just, oh, you got to say it. No, we actually dead ass be about that. All right? So I was telling him, I was like, yo, we enter into some times where no one is going to have what they have right now. Cars, all that shit, bro. And the EMP, all that shit is done away with, bro. The only thing that's going to help you actually cope in life is your faith in your Yahweh Shai and your knowledge of the promises, the knowledge of the prophecies. That's the only thing you're going to be able to actually use as a navigator, man. But everybody else is going to be stuck out there. And I gave an example. I said, imagine right now we're in a state where the sun is out, right? People are getting ready for barbecue because it's beautiful weather. We got a nice breeze and people are chilling. Meanwhile, the hopeful elect, what we're doing is we're preparing. We're going back and forth. You see us moving. We got crates of water. We got candles. We got lights. We got all this. And people are looking at us like, yo, everything is good. Why don't y'all come over and join us with the barbecue? Why y'all on some extra shit right now? What y'all talking about? What y'all getting ready for? And we tell them, yo, there's all hell's about to break loose. There's going to be no more food, no more water. Winter's coming. Winter's coming. In other words, hey, like the Al-Shai said, pray that you fight not be the winter. Why? Because in the wintertime, everything is hard, man. Travel is hard. Just survival, just fighting the elements of it. All right? Cold is like a mean element, bro. A lot of people don't even know that. A lot of people die in the wintertime. Like, that's why the military, the Roman Empire, they never went to war in the wintertime. It was in spring. The month of March. Where you get the word Mars, March. Okay? Which is the god of war. Right? But I was telling him, I was like, soon, when all hell breaks loose, and then all of a sudden, it goes from, 5 minutes ago, the sun was out, it was a beautiful day, to 5 minutes later, because it happens all the time. Right? It's not like it's not some weird shit. No. All of a sudden, it just gets mad gloomy, mad dark, and the wind picks up, doors are slamming, cars are being tossed over. You're like, yo, what the fuck, where did this come from? And it happens so quick that people who are getting ready for barbecue, they don't even get the chance to get up and get the shit that they need. They get fucked up out there, man. That's what's about to happen to America. When I told him that, he got shook. And he's like, wow, that's a good example. I said, envision what I just said. Put images to the words I just gave you and understand, where do you want to be? Do you want to be those who are preparing when everything seems to be peaceful? Knowing that there's all now about to break loose and not falling for them acting like they're nothing, but they can see what we see. They're not preparing like they know what they're going to do. So to them, it is living based on the current. We live based on the future because we know what's coming. Okay? And we know the current is not going to protect you from the future. Alright? So people are just chilling, living, enjoying life like there's nothing because they don't see the threat ahead. And then when the tables turn, it gets all dark, wind pick up, starts raining crazy, now there's no electricity. Oh shit, the barbecue fire that you had, that's where the water burned that, it killed that, there ain't no fire now. So where you gonna go? Right? What water you gonna use? So all that water that I was preparing, me and my brothers was preparing, picking up from these stores, we don't be just buy from one store, we go to different stores. Right? Like you tap this one, you get fire. You get fire. By the time we ready, hey, we got like 100 pins of water ready to go in one day. Meanwhile, these niggas are sitting there talking about barbecue. Right? You gotta be the barbecue. Okay? And then what happened after that? The storm came, now all of a sudden they come into your door. Boom, 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 knocking. Hey, extra candles. That's what they're gonna be saying, extra shit. Nigga, we ain't got no extra, we have just enough. Fuck out of here. Where's your shit at? Right? That's Matthew the 25th chapter. The foolish virgins. The majority of these people are foolish. They don't see ahead. That's why it tells you in the book of Proverbs, a prudent man foreseeth the evil to come and hideth himself. Hideth himself is what? Preparing. Right? Knowing who the Lord is, understanding what's to come soon. So that's all part of the preparation. That's all part of the hiding. Okay? And then what happens? The fools pass on and are punished. These are the fools over here. Right? Everyone that you see that's not preparing mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, right? They're the ones who are fools. They're going to get out. Alright, just like that. After I gave that example, he was mad. He said, so I said, yo, I've been preparing you this whole time for years, bro. Stop asking the same question and grow. Alright? Because we're entering some times where it's going the Lord says what? What he said, be a man, for I demand it off you. Or I demand it off you. Right? He was telling that to Job. Gird up, you're going to be a man. Gird up your loins as a man. Like a man. Right? Because we're coming to times where, you know what they say, gut punch? Yeah, because people are going to feel that. You're going to see, hey, Jeremiah tells you that. Right? Jeremiah 30th chapter. Why are these men with their hands in their loins? Because that gut punch, like, oh my God, it's a lot of pain. Men moving like they're in travail, like they're about to give birth. I'm not talking about these liberal dumbass people that say men can give birth. I'm talking about real life pain. People are about to give birth. Imagine a man being there, wife can't eat, children can't eat, and looking at you. What are you going to do? You're going to go to the next door house to knock on the next door neighbor? He's going to do the same thing you going to do.
And my brother told me, after that was happening, and the guy basically, he avoided it, and he got out the car, and when he realized, like, he didn't get it, he grabbed his stomach, because he was like, that's how scared he was. And then he was like, I was like, what you grab his stomach for? He was like, yo, he was scared. I'm like, that made me think of that scripture. Because that's how people are going to be. They're going to be so afraid that they got to try to comfort yourself. Like, I got to hold my fucking loins in.
Well, yeah, when people say my heart dropped.
Yeah. That weird feeling.
It's funny you said it because if I may, two things. So, to retract, go back to where the prophets ain't on the scene. When that happens, like the brother said, all that chaos happens. When the prophets leave the scene, that's when you're gonna see the whole. Oh, you ran from a lion and the bear met him. Then you run from there, then then the serpent in the crib. There was a dude. He told about he lost a lot of money at the casino. He said when he made the what's that, craps? We throw the shit and they bring the shit. He said when he did, that's what it is? It's crap. Okay, so he was playing craps. So he said when the motherfucker went to take it, he said he lost mad money. He said he put his car on his back. He grabbed it, his back started hurting. He's like, yo. So he said they had to carry him to his car. So I think he lost like $67,000. He said when he was at the casino. And he said like, I read the comments and it said that someone else said when they ran into something kind of stressful, they said he had that sharp pain in his back. So I'm thinking about when brother said he grabbed his stomach. So like your body reacts to stress differently. That's a stressful event. Like you lose $67,000. Niggas don't even make that in a year. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but like he was at the casino. But it goes to show like, yo, it's gonna be times it's gonna be very chaotic for you as an individual. If you got a family, that's what the Lord said. curse be them, or curse be them that give suck in those days or with child. When you have a lot of priority to, you have a lot of mouths to feed, you have a lot of responsibilities of other humans, animals, that's going to be a major burden when that all hell breaks loose. Because you either you leave it or you going to just leave your children, you going to leave your wife? No. So like, people don't even think about, like, yo, you might not have no food tomorrow. You might not have no water. You might not have Dunkin' Donuts. You might not have Starbucks. You might not have Burger King, Chick-fil-A. All that shit going to be gone. You ain't going to have a grocery store. You're not going to have a liquor store. You're not going to have nothing. And think about it, the way they're doing it now to be access to those things, you're gonna need a chip. That's the times we coming in. You either you get the chip, you have access to everything that whatever they're putting out, or don't. And before that, all hell is breaking loose, or during.
Just having the chip doesn't give you food, everything. You gotta prove everything happens. They all have the chip, so not have access to it. You gotta prove that you have it, and then you have to fall into a certain demographic, certain category. Okay, that's how the secret is. The reason why they give you the secret is so they can categorize people easily. You still got right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 61. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. These things have I not shewed unto all men, but unto thee, and a few like thee. Then answered I and said,
And that's why the Lord gave us this knowledge, and He told us not to hide it, but to spread it abroad. Because He didn't show this to everybody. Because if you understood, if everybody knew this, everybody would be doing this whole block would be lined up. If everybody knew this was coming, this isn't something that you could just know and it's like, oh, go about your day. That's why it says that the election have obtained it, but the rest are blinded. And really, they're blinded because it implied earlier in that chapter, the Lord said what? For many great misery shall come upon them because they have walked in great pride. See? Your pride is making you become disillusioned, right? Or should I say, have an illusion that this won't happen. That's why you talking about your father's, your woman's Eve. I mean, your woman's father, your woman's father. He doesn't really want to believe it because of his pride, right? You're like, I just can't. I just don't want to actually accept. Like, I done told you what's about to happen, giving you different parables, breaking it down. That's why the Lord's fucking. How long should I suffer you? Like, yo, just let go of your pride. This shit is over. It's done. But they don't want to accept that. Because you know what? And I did a video yesterday. Is because there's only two choices. You're at a fork in the road when you're presented with the truth. When you choose not to believe the truth, that other path disappears. The path of life disappears now. Now you're forced to only walk down this road. And that road leads to destruction. So now when you got people telling you, yo, listen, path is going, you're going to be destroyed in this path. You can't turn around. Yeah, nah, it's still why, still things going on, it's not, but I see people on there, over there doing, but the end, like, we can see the end of it. We see where this goes, it's a cliff, but you gotta get it. And then like you keep walking and you start seeing people, things like start to shift, you realize, like, damn, this shit not that good. But remember, that other path has disappeared because you don't believe, you didn't choose the love of the truth. So now you're stuck on this path. And that is a pitiful case. That's why it says in 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, that they will suffer the straight things, but have no hope for the wild. We suffer the straight things, but we have a hope of what? The wide, the kingdom. So we actually hasten it to come. Meanwhile, these people, they're like, yo, we don't want it, but you can't. It's like those escalators that are vertical, the horizontal rather. They're just moving you toward it. You can't, even if you try to stop, you still going there. Because as we always say, every day that passes is only getting closer, man.
Mm-hmm. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3, and I'm reading the NLT. It says, most importantly, I want to remind you that in the last days, which we're in right now, scoffers will come mocking the truth and following their own desires. Now, the brother talking about, which one's in the next verse, people saying that everything is still kind of normal, you can still do this, that, and the third. But shit is definitely different in America and on the earth. You can't say it's exactly the same as it was 10, 20 years ago. because I'm about to be 40, and I remember when I was 20, this shit was not like this. So it's a 20-year-old right here that's not experiencing life how it was when I was 20. That's a fact. And these Gen Zers, or whatever generation we in right, they're saying that the cost to buy a house right now, you need an average of $400,000. And the average salary is like $60,000, if that.
It said to have a child, you're going to need $330,000 to take care of that child for up to 18 years.
Just one child. Just one child. But in the fourth verse in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, NLT, it says, they will say, what happened to the promise that Yahushua the Lord is coming again? From before the times of our ancestors, everything has remained the same since the world was first created. And that's what they said.
You know what I'm saying? And they were saying that before.
Yeah.
Like really around like,
My bad.
around like 2020. Before, after 2020, you had a lot of people stop scoffing like that. Because when that happened with the lockdown, that was a world-changing event. And everybody felt that the world changed. And until that point, everybody still says it's been since 2020, it hasn't been the same. It's a world-changing event. So now you even have people speak about the times we're living at as apocalyptic or biblical times. Or like, yeah, this is definitely, weird, or it's the end. Where are you getting that information from? You're not getting that in the Quran.
The church.
You're not getting that from Buddha. I mean, the church got the Bible, but they're not bringing that out. They're trying to say, yeah, peace, peace, trying to heal the Lord's people slightly. But it's not really healing, because you just get healed for that 45 minutes of hearing the peace. But if you go back outside the real world, it ain't peaceful. Yeah, word. So and you can tell, like, these churches where a lot of the people stop believing, because now you have these pastors becoming more abrasive with them ties, man. Locking the doors. What the hell? You can't come out. You can't leave the church until I get 30,000. Yeah, hold them hostage. You gotta the ushers lock the door.
You got in trouble for that, right?
Yeah. He got in trouble. But what kind of real trouble did he get in?
Right. Should be in more trouble.
You need, yeah. But that's how you know, like, that's why you got these Christians so-called trying to come out into the streets now and debate us, right? Because nobody's really listening to them by themselves. And then they gotta chop it up and edit it and make it seem like, yo, man, you corny, bro. Because this is the truth. As Yahweh said, you come up against this, you're gonna get broken into pieces. And when this comes down upon you, you're gonna get smashed into powder. You lose either way. The best thing you can do is just leave. Just leave us alone. But you can't do that, because what we're teaching really sounds like death music. Even though it's life, it sounds like death. And it's like a bad smell that you just keep trying to smell. Like, but we're gonna keep being out here, because this is the Lord's doing, man. This is the Lord's judgment. And really, it's a warning for the elect.
I was going to say, because with this offers, like the brother said, you don't see it as much because there's not as much room to sloth. Because now the Lord is actually doing, he's doing things that you can't deny. And it's actually things that's actually tying to the actual scripture. To where now it's like, yo, well, when this happened, that's this scripture. Or when this happened, that's this scripture. See, like 5-6 years ago, 2020, everybody knows it changed, right? But what did it change into? Did it change into this place progressing or going down? The actual downfall actually became more clearer. That's what even so-called red-blooded Americans are saying. This is at the end of America. Like, cause like this is how societies fall. Economies go down, jobs go down, at war. Everybody's against you. Everybody's against America and the small ass right now. And why is that? Because they ruined the actual way of life. They ruined the oil. They ruined the foreign trade. They ruined foreign relationships. They ruined allyship. They ruined their own allies. Spain is against America right now. That's a NATO ally. That's part of the 7 heads. Italy, Germany, they all talk about, oh, we got to do this against Russia. That's Esau against Esau. King, Nate, come on, man.
Bodies.
That's good.
Second Ezra 16 and 14, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine.
What they look like this?
Hear now these things and
So
understand.
so like it. Yep. The Lord foretold of what happens when this war that is actively happening, when it escalates, when that whole draft, you got to understand, there's a reason why when December 1st comes, the 18th through 26th automatically just get put into the draft. Now, it's not a coincidence. Remember, the Lord said that he has everything measured by time. So this war happened, boom. Now all of a sudden, you don't think you think it's oh, that's just a random event. No. The Lord is about to have these nations, right, specifically, I should say America, but all these other nations, they've been talking about conscriptions in Europe, right? They've been doing that. America's kind of late to the game. But the crazy part is they're in the worst war. They're in the worst position. In the least pressed, the most soft. These Americans, man, they're not ready for war. I remember when I forgot which war was it, but they had this whole shit. I know it was during Biden. You had them talking about the draft before. We had a lot of people go on social media. You got a sodomite. You wanna send me? You wanna send me to war? Oh no, honey, it's not gonna work. But that's your men. That's why it says that your men have become women. Like literally. That's why you have PXF doing a testosterone check. Think about that. Like why you gotta do a testosterone check for your military? That means when you're going up and down them barracks, you're seeing a lot of effeminate ass men. And then you see a lot of masculine women, but guess what? They still don't got testosterone. So it doesn't matter. They can look like a nigga all they want. You penetrate her, she gonna moan.
Second Ezra 16 and 35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slight.
No. So as we were saying, these things are compounding upon each other, man. You don't get room to breathe. Like even the earth itself, like it was just an earthquake. And then it was just another earthquake. And then it was just another earthquake. Like, yo, it's like every week there's a major earthquake. Yeah, 11 earthquakes of 7 or higher in the last 8 months.
8 months. So like an earthquake every month.
Isn't it like also around the Ring of Fire?
Yeah, yep.
Yashawamba said they had an earthquake in Texas.
Yeah.
And that shit is unheard of. So, and the closer we get, the birth pains, I'm gonna read it, the birth pains is gonna get worse. So every earthquake is like a pain of that birth that's coming.
Yeah, because the scripture says that the earth hastens to pass away. The earth is over this life, man. like word. The earth is like, yo, we're done. No more. Because it said that hey, the whole creature groaneth for the manifestation of the sons of God. This whole age is just waiting for the sons of God to manifest. That's why when we started to wait, everything like, yo, let's go. Like, yo, wake up. Like, the earth starts shaking. Like, all right, let's get these niggas off. Because this devil, as he sees us awakening, he's become more and more aggressive with his wickedness. So, as the brother mentioned before, I think it's Wisdom of Solomon. Maybe you can find that scripture in 16, where it said that the earth is here, the elements is fighting. Oh yeah? Oh, is that the one with Matt Damon? Yeah, yep. Because look what this devil does, man. Bees are damn near extinct. You need bees.
You don't see no power in it.
Bro, I seen a butterfly the other day. I was like, oh shit, a butterfly. Like, I remember being young, like our brother said, like 20 years ago, I was like, I'm trying to catch him. You said, yeah, yep. You barely see and hear the birds chirping in the morning, man. They ain't word, because they're not to sing about. That's they're singing in the morning. You don't even hear that.
I don't know if y'all noticed that there, but down bottom you seen a lot of birds of prey. Hawks, eagles, yeah,
Yeah, we seen it. Yep. Yep.
Ecclesiastes said that bird chirping. All that's happening, it's all like brother said, it's all happening simultaneously. And it's like it's overwhelming Esau's kingdom to where like it's only destruction left.
Hey, the birds don't sing if the words don't sting. That's from Clips. They had a song about the birds don't sing. That's another sign of the earth being in a dead state. You know, even the birds are tired. That bird, the brother pointed out, that pigeon looked like he was about to give up the ghost just now. He looked like he was about to perish.
This is the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 16. It says, "For the ungodly that denied to know thee was scourged by the strength of thine arm. With strange rains, hails, and showers were they persecuted, that they could not avoid, and through fire were they consumed. For which is most to be wondered at? The fire had more force in the water that quenches all things."
So the Lord started to really just change the elements, man. Like change the power,
The nature.
yeah, the nature. There you go, the nature of the elements. This is why why we commemorate the Passover and our Exodus out of Egypt so much. It wasn't just like, oh, they just walked out. Like, no, the Lord literally changed the whole entire landscape of what life is, just to deliver us. And He said that this is going to be a greater, man. No, this one so past that they're not even going to talk about that anymore.
It says, "And through for the world fighteth for the righteous. For some time the flame was mitigated, that it might not burn up the beast that was sent against the ungodly. But
The
them
Lord set wild animals, chilled out with the fire, so the wild animals could tear their asses up. And then when they were done, He lit the fire back up. And it said that the fire had more force than the water.
Word, because what was the Egyptians probably doing? Trying to probably throw up fire, put water on the fire to like quench it. With the fire, like, oh no, that's my need.
so
Because it's like oxygen. You're not supposed to like give fire oxygen because it makes it bigger. So remember, water is what? 2 part hydrogen, 1 part. Lord probably just amplified the oxygen in the water, like whoosh. Remember, He could just manipulate the elements.
Like on gasoline.
Yeah.
And remember too, they don't got much water at this point. Because all of them is blood now. They just got reserves, so they're wasting their shit.
Damn, your reserves.
And then it said that the water, the earthly animals turned to watery. Well, you might have had some animals that saw land creatures like that AI video of the crocodile pop up and punch somebody. It says the watery creatures turned into earthly. So it was just everything. The Lord just flipped everything upside down on them. He could do that. You know, you got a shark that pop up out of water and start walking on land and eating niggas. That's what the Lord can do that.
All the others did.
Oh God, Shark Tale.
So if you try to escape the shark from the ocean, you need to jump on land and start
When the damn bear starts swimming like a dolphin through the water and get your ass, where you gonna go? What you gonna do with that?
Like Michael Phelps.
Word. He didn't even hate the Egyptians. He didn't even hate them. He did that to them. Where do you think he got? So you got coming for you Edomites, man.
Burning Europe up. There's I forget what country it was. There was a major wildfire going on right now, man. I don't know if it's Spain, Italy, or Germany, but it's like somewhere. It's burning
It's like
mad.
all three.
Yeah, it's burning mad. And I think it was a fire somewhere in Asia too. They had to evacuate people. I want to say China. Something happened to where mad people just getting evacuated from evacuated from their cribs.
No more?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, there's more. Right? Yeah. So it says, for sometimes the flame was mitigated, that it might not burn up the beast that was sent against the ungodly, but themselves might see and perceive that they were persecuted with the judgment of God. And at another time it burneth even in the midst of water above the powers of fire, that it might destroy the fruits of the unjust land.
Imagine imagine the bear. It said that the creatures went through the fire and they wasn't affected. You got a fire bear running on your ass. Some Pokemon shit for real in real life. Where you got animals mixed with elements.
also too, remember that a lot of creatures that the Lord creates, right? That a lot of people are not even used to or have never seen. And these days, the Lord's going to just bring them up on the scene. Remember, it says that the wild creatures shall change their place, right? So you're gonna have a lot of animals that people haven't seen. Esau gonna be baffled by that. Like, where is this bird from? We haven't seen this bird before. And they can flee from the Amazon because you disturbed it.
Remember what Esau did? A lot of his tests, scientific tests, are done on animals.
Ooh, they want revenge on that, huh?
That's a fact. Like, yo, remember you taking an animal that has a family and is grabbing it up and like, yo, we just gonna snatch you from it, or we want the babies because we know they're easier to make. So you take it from his mother, from his father, and then just go experiment on that shit, man.
It's a real true story of an elephant. Lady did something to the baby elephant, and the elephant found the lady, killed her, then doubled back and stomped the head up.
Yeah, at the funeral came back. It was in India. Because he said the elephants don't forget.
Yeah.
He said they traveled miles. Miles to go basically stump her at her funeral. While she was at, like, while they was having a funeral with her.
Well, they have a mental map of every water hole in Africa, so they know all that shit. So yeah.
You're gonna find your ass.
Now this was an Indian elephant. Those were the war elephants.
I mean, they're pretty intelligent because they had like things where elephants were able to use their tusks to draw and shit like that. And I was gonna say what you were saying is like the backstory of one of the Planet of the Apes movies with was it Koba, where he was tortured in there and he remembered all that, and that's why he hated. He had such a strong disdain for humans. Ape.
All the animals gonna get their lick back. Sharks that got, sharks are a lot of sharks are going extinct right now, man, because of the fishing methods that they use, which is cruel. The tender mercies of the wicked is cruelty. A just man cared for the life of his beast. I'm paraphrasing, but this is all things that Esau has abandoned life as a whole, and his rage is mainly focused on us, but we are tapped in with life as the Lord's people. So he has waged war on us and everything that represents life. So this is deeper than just, he is the wicked, but it's a deep thing that's going on. He is death and he is going against life.
Yeah, because remember, when creation happened, right? The Lord said, Scripture said the Lord saw it, and said what he said it was good. In other words, it was perfect. It was perfectly woven. In fact, everything that the Lord had blueprint was perfectly executed, right? Like they have perfect water. You know what I'm saying? They got perfect air. Like everything is perfect. Trees, everything was perfectly made. There was nothing like these leaves, right? These leaves right here, they're perfectly made. All right, designed that way. Each leaf looks different from the next one. Look at all these leaves, man. They were perfectly done that way. Perfect. That's why the Lord said it was good. We saw and said, nah, this ain't good enough. We're gonna make we're gonna destroy the organic. What is that? Meanwhile, the scripture tells you you're not supposed to make different crossbreeds, make different animals, man. You're not supposed to do that. Right? So the Lord, exactly. The Lord gave us the manual. Okay, the little manual right here. Which one? You can look it up, manual real quick.
I was going to add to you that Yahweh Shai said that Solomon in all his splendor wasn't arrayed as one of the lilies. So that just goes to show you, the beauty of the creation.
Yeah, that's why these Christians try to say that the Lord is going to destroy the earth. And it's like, yo, you spend all this time within the earth to destroy them. What are you talking about, right?
He's destroying his own habitat. Right? The harbinger of death. Read that manual.
No, it says here, manual, small service will be used.
Right. This is the manual. And this is the manual that's used by the priests. Okay? And the priests really are the true judges of the earth. Okay? We are the ones who are ministering what the Lord Heavenly Father says in the heavens on the earth. Okay? So the priests really are the true magistrates of the earth. Alright? They're the priests. Okay? So the manual is this right here, but Esau goes against it. How do you expect him to bring life if he doesn't follow the manual? All he's going to do is bring death. If you have a car, you don't follow the manual, what happens? You spend a whole lot of money, those are the car goes. Not literally.
Show you that why the tickets coming in his hand,
Right.
seems that hate his instructions. Right. That's the instructions, the manual. The Lord literally like, what do you call it? Life. Like this is how you live and how life. So very similar to ransack. This devil doesn't do that, man. That's why it says in Isaiah that the earth fell under the inhabitants of it. Because of what? Because they had changed the ordinance and broken the everlasting covenant. There is a balance that goes with life and the Lord. Life comes from the Lord. Why would you not follow what the Lord says to do in order for life to flourish? Instead of your mind, oh, we want to give you inorganic. We're going to be higher than God. With some mentions and clouds. We're going to be gods ourselves. That wouldn't even benefit you. Like that's what you don't understand. You devils wouldn't even benefit from you being a god.
Meanwhile, he got a law book this big.
Right.
You know, you got his law library, and then, but you missed the simplicity of your house shop. You missed the